and Ling Yu Ting, who are suspected of being not female boxing athletes. A lot of people love to tell us people to do our research before we do this and do that. Okay, well, I did my research. Here's how we got to this point to where people are suspicious of Armin Khalif and Ling Yu Ting. Now, the IBF, the IBA director, uh, Umar Kremlib, basically said what they found in the testing. They conducted testing in 2022 and 2023 in two different locations, and they found adverse findings. Now, they test in Turkey, and they were cleared to basically compete. But these two different testing and two locations, they found XY chromosomes in the bloodstream. And I guess they did some DNA testing. And I did my research. XY chromosomes are only supposed to be in males. So that's why they came to the determination that they were men, and why they were not allowed to compete. Now, they had some kind of press conference earlier this morning, and he was explaining how they came to the conclusion, and he was trying to explain to people. And of course, you had people in the media going on the self-righteous act. Instead of listening to the dude talk and explain, they were sitting up there, trying to be politically correct. Some things don't need to be politically correct. There are some things where you have to have a limitation on everything. Me, myself, my stance has been on this throughout the gate. Females should only compete against females, and males should only compete against males. Now, if you live an alternate lifestyle and you transition yourself to something else, then they need to have some kind of competition for that particular community. If you have XY chromosomes in your system, then you are pretty much, in all likelihood, either a male or for what is that, a hermaphrodite or a intersexual. But nevertheless, you still shouldn't be competing against genetically born women with only female um, chromosomes. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. So they dude, well, did you check between their legs? Well, here's the thing. That isn't conclusive as well. That is be all, because what could possibly happen is you could have some female parts, but you could as well not have developed I don't want to get, you know what I'm talking about. So the human body is really complex, but this is one of these situations where, due to the fact that they have XY chromosomes in their system, and they do gender identification test, they shouldn't be allowed to compete in the Olympics. So this is a screw up on the Olympics. I know people said, well, the baby picture showed up and all that kind of stuff, but you have to ask yourself a question. How is it that both of them have XY chromosomes in their system, in their bodies? So either they're taking a substance that is giving them male-like chromosomes, which I don't know what that product could possibly be, because I'm not that deep into that stuff. But you have to ask the questions, like, something is going on. Something is going on. So if they're taking some kind of if they're taking male hormones or chromosomes, putting them in their system, injecting them in their system some kind of way, then that's a form of cheating. and they still shouldn't be allowed to compete. And I'm looking at the features of both these individuals. They do have some strong jawbones. Look like you can see some Adam's apples. So that's very questionable. To be honest with you, the baby pictures don't mean nothing. Because if you went that route, uh, you know, Shalice Theron, was adopting those black babies from Africa, and she was putting them in dresses at a very well. You catch my drift. You guys know where I'm going with this, so that isn't conclusive neither. Me myself, this is my own personal opinion. Due to the controversy surrounding this, they shouldn't have been allowed to compete. Because at the end of the day, it appears that they have XY chromosomes that still give them a strength advantage. So something is not adding up about this situation, and people need to start asking more questions instead of reacting off, you know, uh, pure emotion, and start just asking questions like, you saw people screaming and all this kind of stuff. And that's the problem with people. People defend the wrong things and people go all out, and they always try to twist and turn and gaslight something and try to say, oh, the people that are coming after these people, they're transphobic. No, they're not transphobic. They're just saying that genetically born females should compete against genetically born females. Nobody said that they shouldn't be able to compete in sports, but they may need a lane of their own. They turn everything into something hate, and they try to shame you about it. I'm getting tired of every time you just try to have a productive and a productive conversation. You can't have a productive conversation in basically a human conversation without people turning it into something else. Now they're calling this possibly identity gender politics, but I don't see nothing phobic about it. It's not like of transgender people. All we're saying is that they should be competing against genetically born male or females. They may need their own sports league. And I'm fine with that. If somebody is willing to finance it, or if they're willing to finance it, fine. No problem. Sit up there every time you have a disagreement about something that you have a phobia, that's not right. It's me off. They're always saying somebody, you have a difference of, and particularly with them, they're saying, "Oh, you're homophobic, you're transphobic." No, we're just saying that at the same way how they sit up there and say if you talk about with race, and particularly black people, they call it critical race. That okay, well, I'm finna come with a new terminology. Uh, you know what I'm saying? Mark this down, and somebody can trademark this. Real talk. Yeah, y'all a trademark. Now we're gonna have a trademark, and we're gonna have a terminology called critical sexuality. For real theory. So now it's CTS or or CGT, critical gender theory. So I just gave y'all two patents. So we gonna start using that word, and that's the problem. I'm getting tired of this, critical gender. It's getting on my nerve. It's crap. It's crap. Why can't we have? I don't know if they disqualified her. I don't know if they disqualified her. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. We can't have a productive conversation without somebody trying to shame you. I get tired of these shaming tactics. When you say, "Hey, they're pushing," you know, I get tired of them pushing that agenda. I get tired of them pushing that agenda that anytime you speak out against something or just have a difference of opinion, listen, everybody have their lane. But at the end of the day, you clearly see that they're trying to push this agenda, in particularly on the black community. Oh yeah, and I just want to say, fuck that nigga Gunner too, walking around with a dress. That's what I'm saying. They're trying to influence our young black men and confuse our black men. I told you what they're doing now is called straight shaming, and they're directing this towards black men and black women. They're basically trying to force gender identity politics on the black community and critical sexuality theory on the black community. We got to have these conversations. Well, I'm not finna be shamed. And here's the thing, this is just real talk. And even if you do live your lifestyle like that and you don't want to be, because I know some people that, they don't want to be part of that community. They don't want to be tied to that because they didn't say it out of their own mouth that it's too messy. So I'm just saying. Even I've even heard some of them say that they're force feeding this stuff. So if you hear them saying it, then it's a problem. Well, I don't know nothing about the other athlete that supposedly it happened to, but this particular Olympics, I just seen they did some weirdo stuff pertaining to this Olympics. A lot of people didn't like the theme with the drag queens and all that kind of stuff. A lot of people said that it had a satanic element to it. I didn't get to see the opening ceremonies and stuff. Um, Listen, everybody can't be included in everything, and that's the problem. This is why those type of places, but we all know France has a long history of that kind of stuff. We know France has a long history of that kind of stuff, and that's just real talk. So it wouldn't be out of the norm for them to be trying to push that stuff. Yeah, that's what I just said. That's exactly what I just said. But getting back to the suspected men or born men, then like I said before, due to the fact that they have XY chromosomes, it's just real talk. They shouldn't be allowed to compete. That's just the bottom line. They have a strength advantage. They still need to explain to us how did they feel. They failed, both of those individuals in question failed two um gender identification test. They found it in their bloodstream, which means, hey, that mean it could be some kind of genetics. But like I said, I don't want to go deep into that. But where there's smoke, there's fire, and something isn't right about this. I think the best thing that would have been fair to everybody is not to let them compete, because you have this controversy. And like I said, looking at their features is really suspect. Looking at their features is like Amin Khalif, her jawline, her jawbone, she has an Adam's apple. She has a big neck. She has a strong jaw structure. She has an Adam's apple. And the same thing with the other one, has very male like features. If you look at somebody closely, you like, okay, something ain't right about this. Now, look, if you do the math, 2 plus 2 equals 4, 4 plus 4 equals 8. 8 plus 8 equals 16. Something isn't right. If you fail two different gender identification tests, some in two different places. Something is going on. Is something that somebody is hiding. So I'm just saying, I've done my research and this is what I've found so far. So once again, they need to be a full-blown investigation into what's going on with them and how did this happen. Because like I said, if you fail two different gender identification tests, then questions need to be asked. And then for them to go into the Olympics and be able to compete. Listen, we got to stop playing these games. We got to stop acting like everybody can do this and everybody can do that. Just because certain people are not allowed to do certain things is not because it's a form of discrimination. There were certain things that God put men on here to do, and there were certain things that God put women on here to do. That's why he has male and female. We were both put on this planet to perform different tasks. And that's what people need to understand. So I'm just saying, I'm going to say this once again. I am not homophobic. I am not transphobic. I have no type of phobia. I'm not scared of those people. And I think it's offensive to me to say that somebody is scared of those type of people. We can have difference of opinions and we can have different ways of how people live their lifestyle. As long as it doesn't get violent, then is cool. But at the end of the day, everybody need their own lane. They shouldn't have stuff. You know what I'm saying? Um, Everybody ain't meant to be everywhere, and that's real talk. Just like we're different in gender, male and female, we're different in race. Everybody have different cultures, and ain't nothing wrong with that. This is what we keep trying to tell these stupid ass politicians. You can't categorize everybody and put them in one big melting pot. The Asians need whatever they need, which I don't care what they need. I'm worried about what black people need. Whatever the Hispanics need, the immigrants need, that's their issue. Even though it's been proven that, further reason on the side note not to vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Did y'all know that they've been bringing them immigrants into certain places, giving them shelter? And if they get and if one of the ladies or women happen to get pregnant, they get extra money. They have been given EBT cards with like $16,000 in food stamps, and then like 5,000 in cash, over $20,000 in money and EBT. But then I sit up and see a black homeless man who can't even get into a shelter because they put them in a shelter over them. Kamala Harris and Joe Biden has flew at least 300,000 of them into the States. And that stuff about it's cheaper to temporary house them than send them back, that's a damn lie. That's a damn lie. But then here we sit up and ask for tangibles. They talked about they got to do research. And that's what I'm saying. We always get pushed to the back burner, but then they always want our votes. And I keep telling you, Kamala Harris is going to fast track them to get them voting rights, get them tangibles, and allow them. They're allowed in some places. They're allowed to bring their weapons in here. Did y'all know that? If you wonder why crime didn't went up, if you wonder why all these diseases are coming here, like polio and some other and measles and other things, is because of them. Exactly. And they ain't even gonna vote Democrat. They basically, but I'm just telling you now, there was a story that a lady put out where one of them accidentally left her food, her EBT receipt, because when you use a EBT, it has what your remaining balance was. Now, if this story breaks wide, you know what they're gonna say? Oh, it was an accident. We didn't mean to give her that much. But I also found videos that were not in English where they were saying that what was going on and why they needed to get to the United States. So basically, your United States government, led by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and this is why Kamala Harris is a fraud. And once again, she's not black. So basically, they bring them in here. They give them housing over homeless people who are citizens. They give them a EBT card that have over 20,000 over 20,000 in food stamps and regular cash. So explain that to me. How does that work? How do they leapfrog American citizens? But then Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is constantly giving our money to to the war, to that other place, Gaza, and then Ukraine. But then they don't want to give us nothing. But y'all gonna vote for Kamala Harris. Well, I'm just saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My stepdad served in the military for over 30 years, retired, and he don't even get no stuff like that. Where's my $20,000 EBT card? Because Lord knows, as much as food costs, I could sure use it. But that's Cam for you. She had one job to control the border, but she was letting them in, and then she was lying, saying that she wasn't in control. So I mean, if y'all stupid enough to vote for her, there you have it. So when they bring millions of them in, and then you sitting up going to work, and you seeing them there, and then they can't speak a lick of English, and somehow they get promoted to being your supervisor, and then basically they find a way to remove you from your job and bring their people in, then look at Kamala Harris and look at Joe Biden. So you go ahead and you vote for her. You go ahead and vote for her. I'm not listening to these emotional dingbats, but I'm not listening to these emotional women saying that, oh, you just don't like her because she's a black woman. Well, first of all, how many times we got to explain to y'all that she's not black? That's already been proven. Oh, they really are. They really are. And they gonna be plotting against, they gonna be guess who they gonna be plotting against? Guess who they gonna be? Guess who they gonna be going to the manager? They gonna get made man. They gonna get promoted to managers, supervisors, and guess who they gonna get? Guess who they gonna fire? Guess who they gonna remove off the job first? They're gonna say you're lazy. Then all of a sudden they're gonna sit up there and say, "Oh, we gotta let you go." They're gonna say you're not working fast enough. They're gonna say, "Oh, your numbers is down." Like, and then they're gonna be, and then they're gonna be allowed to get in. Then they're gonna be allowed to become cops. And boy, Lord, if you think some of these white cops is bad, you gonna see what happened to Sonia Massey on a regular basis. But on the side note, I just wanted to put that out there. But anyway, appreciate you guys. It's your boy Tam. I'm out.